We'll move last to Cincinnati visiting Utah, a long-standing rivalry in college football. This one is a little bit later in the night, which is, I think, great for Utah. Maybe explains a little bit of this number. Utah, 8.5 point favorites with a 10:15 Cincinnati time start. Total's 56 and a half. You could argue the college kids, they stay up pretty late, but Saturday football sometimes comes a lot earlier than that. Tell me about Cincinnati. I feel like they've been a little popular lately, and I'm wondering why.
Yeah, well, for one, they've been one of the more underrated and undervalued teams in the country. I mean, they're 7-1 straight up, 6-2 against the number, 2-0 ATS on the road. So they're handling business. They're a little bit under the radar. In a Big 12 that I think when we previewed it, it was pretty wide open at the top. As you saw, three or four teams have the same or similar odds. And I think that's coming into fruition here. And I kind of like Cincinnati in the spot, but the one thing that's putting me off is because we don't know the status of Devin Dampier. I mean, he didn't play last week, and we saw the offense. I mean, not miss a beat, but again, that was against Colorado, and I don't know if you saw the first half box score, but they had like -4 yards, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
atrocious.
It's
So I,
rare. It's rare that you play an over and one team doesn't look like they'll ever score and you're not concerned about it, you know?
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I really do think that Cincinnati is undervalued, but the reason that's keeping me off of like a straight bet and not and just a lean is because if Devin Dampier is ruled in, then we're probably going to see a probably an influx of money come in on Utah in the market. And maybe that's already being accounted for because I think this opened 7.5 and now it's up a little bit. So maybe that's already being priced in. But I think Cincinnati can control the clock. I think they can run the ball, but can they stop the rush attack is the real issue. They're 113th in rush success rate D. We all know what Utah wants to do. They want to run the ball. They want to stay in third and manageable. But I think Cincinnati will be able to control the ball as well. Low possession game. I like the under. But I think Cincinnati is live in this game, and but the reason that's keeping me off of it is just I want to make sure that Dampier's in, but so maybe I can get a better number. Which again, from looking at the screen right now, is probably getting a little bit priced in right now. But I think Cincinnati can hang, man. I think the back door will be open if they can get up. But Utah's not explosive offensively. Um, Cincinnati, like Utah's 113th. I mean, not 113th. I'm sorry. Utah's 104th in EPA per rush defense. So I think Cincinnati can run the ball. Sorsby can run the ball, control the clock, play action. So I'm leaning towards Cincinnati, but I do like the under in the game, though.
So that's what it sounds like. For most totals, you want it to be competitive because you want both teams to score, unless Colorado's on the road at Utah, or playing Utah. I think the My question is, I mean, of course you want Cincinnati to be as strong as possible so that if you're back in the 8.5 or whatever the number ends up turning into before kickoff. I'm curious kind of what you would want more for this game to go under. Would you want Cincinnati to not be competitive and therefore there's not a lot of scoring late in a game? Do you want them to control the clock by moving it, but they will likely have better chances of scoring? What are you preferring there?
Yeah, I prefer both teams to just stick to their core, and that's run the ball. And I just think that Utah, if you look at Utah's box scores, like they against quality teams, they're not really blowing teams out just because they don't have the explosiveness offensively. So Cincinnati is one of those teams. They're not going to give up a ton of explosiveness. The secondary is, I mean, Utah doesn't want to pass the ball. I mean, that's just not what they want to do. And if it's Dampier, I mean, if it's the backup compared to Dampier, they definitely want to lean more on the run game. So I prefer them both just be themselves, run the ball. I think Cincinnati will take a really good approach as far as take as much time as they can. They're in a rowdy environment, and I think they'll run the ball a ton. So I prefer both teams to just kind of come out and be themselves and run the ball. Maybe we can get, a 16, 17 play drive out of one of these, and it'll be a really good, smooth under. But I do think that that's a good bet under in this game.